Hello, Cat Popper. So nice meeting you in black and white.
It's different in here. It's a pleasure to meet you,
Exactly.
Dennis.
Very old school because
Yeah.
you were so gracious to look at some of the early interviews from 1979, before you had even incarnated onto the planet, and you had an opportunity for me to see some of the work that I'm doing, and now I get a chance to do. And then we come to today in full color because it's
How
2025.
did you do that?
Well, it's let's just say that it's something that it's wonderful to see in this time that is so different. I
Yeah.
mean, goodness gracious, it's astonishing. So where should we talk? What would you like to talk about today? And the first time meeting you, what do I need to know about you? Because I have a number of curiosities, questions.
Well, I will say that I was arrested for the first time in 1979. So, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I was 6, but I had you for a minute. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of more fascinated with you. I love what you're doing. I love watching your videos. I love how
Thank you.
fluid you are and how interested. I feel like interested people are interesting. And in a in an era where people are afraid, I feel like they tend to not be as interested. So I always get chills when I meet someone who's interested. So yeah.
How lovely. Because I was sitting there thinking about not only our lives, but the times in our lives when we grew up. So you were born in like 1974,
3.
3. All right. So you're born in 1973. The times that have changed between there, as both of us, I was born in 1948. So the times that we have grown during this time have just been the most fascinating times. We've seen rights given, rights taken away. We've seen our democracy on goodness gracious what we're going to be having. It's just an extraordinary time, and you as an artist are navigating this through your music and your art, uh, to be a working artist in 2025.
I mean, I feel like we're all navigating it. And while I have had a really cool career, I feel like that's not where my focus is these days, besides like making money. But I feel like just watching how everybody's had to adapt. And also, one thing I love about what I watched from you, and the fact that you have this uh, overarching theme that you've had for so long, is thinking big picture is so helpful in getting out of like the immediate panic of the moment. So that's one of the things I loved about your interviews, and that you're doing this series is like, because somebody your age, you've seen like the draft, all these things that I never experienced. And it just kind of blows my mind to think how differently each generation processes and gets through
Yeah.
events like that. And
Wow.
this is way too esoteric to start with,
No,
but I'm
not at
just
all.
really excited about what you do.
But thank you, Kat. And, well, I'm fascinated. One of the places I like to touch base with people that I have conversations with is, who were you
Mm,
at 18?
wow. Well, when I was younger, I I liked playing music. I liked the connection. I was always
Mhm.
really good at it. I was encouraged to do it, but I was always so fascinated with history. And I was like the nerdy kid at the family reunion running around everybody. Who's this? Who's this? I wrote names on all the pictures. Like I have all of this, you know, all of these old things from the family that finally I'm starting to get some people I don't have children, so I don't know what I'm going to do with this stuff, but
Right.
and I feel like I've come, I've had a really interesting career that we can totally talk about, but I've sort of come full circle where I'm not so much as interested in doing that. I have some health issues that make it more difficult for me to be on the road. So I'm
Mhm.
starting like my own interview show that we don't have to talk about it because
Excuse me.
Sorry.
We don't have to talk about it, but we're gonna talk about it.
There's this book that I love. It's one of my favorite books. It's called Jazz Anecdotes, and it's by a bass player. And he, this idea that, you get to know Louis Armstrong through like a story from Muggsy Spanier, who like nobody knows but I know who Muggsy Spanier is, and then he's just telling a story about Louis Armstrong, and it's giving a different perspective of Louis Armstrong. So I love it when I get to when my own thoughts get rattled, like I think I know something and then it's thrown off. So I'm working with a senior editor at Rolling Stone to put together a book of rock anecdotes. So, I have a lot of phone numbers and I call people and they answer, and I'm like, why didn't you pick up the phone? Guys from really big bands. And then I thought, well, to make this, something that's even more accessible, we've started an interview show that my producer is Ringo Starr's tour manager. So he's like super busy, but he wants to do it because it's very awkward. I'm a little awkward. And I draw pictures because, when people are talking about, a musician that you might not know, I draw a picture. I can't draw. So it's sort of bringing people together, like the idea of forgetting everything that people think they know about another person. And I think that's what I love about casual interviews. So I feel like that's where I'm going with where I was when I was younger. It's like, all I have of this person is a picture. And I know when they were born, I know when they died, but tell me a story about, did they like oxtail soup? Did they ride horses? Like,
Yes.
So that's why recently I've become obsessed with old Hollywood. I'm not even a huge fan of the movies, but I just love, the idea that you spoke with Mel Blanc, who saw so much. And I learned a little bit more about what it was like inside the rooms with the cartoonists. That's the kind of stuff that really has been exciting me lately.
I love the idea of we taking this music, the arc of music, and hanging stories in the times that they were, that gives context to it, because we're wired for music as humans. I mean, music has been around for a long time, and now for eons. And so now we're getting a chance to bring this up and to be able to tell the stories of history through the musicians' eyes and hearts and minds.
Yes. And I think it's a time, maybe, I mean, again, I'm only 51, but I feel like I ask older people a lot of questions, people who are older than me. And is this time more difficult, do you think, in terms of people feeling the need to be right? And that makes, causes aggression. Like, I'm not safe unless I'm right. So what happens is like, oh, X artist did this thing and he's bad. We can't listen to that artist. We won't pay to go see that artist. There is no human being without some sort of fault. So I feel like, telling a story about somebody to the point where you're like, oh, like Clark Gable, he date raped Loretta Young. Clark Gable. He did so many helpful things to so many people. And we think about the era, date rape is horrible. But can we have a more balanced view? You can say, I really don't like that he did that. However, I read David Niven's book and I can't believe how much he helped out so-and-so. Like, can we have a more balanced view of people?
I remember, because I was there during that time, the idea of chasing a secretary around the desk, the idea of just that, that Christmas song about it's cold outside.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, how do you, I know, so some things are contextual. It doesn't make them any better. It doesn't make them any better at all, but they are contextual.
Yes. And, I now I'm getting to the point where, like, oh, we shouldn't have done that to Al Franken. Like, he did a stupid thing
So
and
if
we
I
shouldn't have done that. And I'm thinking, I'm so relieved to hear some people say that. And people would be, I'm not advocating rape. I'm not advocating unwanted touching
oh,
but we're in a world where you can't say it was of the time, like
yeah,
without people. So can we
exactly.
forget
But
everything
even
we
if they
think we know?
did, how do we grow past this?
Yeah.
Because let's just say this, because you and I both know that
Mm,
this is the place of sanity,
mm,
that no person is any one way or the other. We're an amalgamation, we're a mixed bag of growth and learnings and regrets and mistakes. I mean, it anyone. So how I want to know how to get past it, and where are these opportunities for redemption? Because I
mm,
love one of the things that I love about Joss Whedon. I
mm.
remember back when Joss Whedon was cool. It really was. I mean, my life was wonderful. He was this feminist champion of women and putting Buffy out there and Angel as the recovering alcoholic that can't drink blood. And so the metaphors just go. I mean, there's so much that he has done. And and it was wonderful for me to feel that it's possible. I love the redemption stories
Yeah.
that he tells, and I
Mm.
love this opportunity. So, I mean, I want to see that. How do we do this in this time?
Well, I feel like a lot of people, their way to do it is, um, and I don't want to say it's performative, it's a little judgmental, but on social media, you know,
Hmm.
free Palestine, like posting yes, free Palestine, but what else, right? Like how can we, like, I feel like there's a more cellular level to work with, and I talk about this with my shrink a lot, but I think this project is my way to do that.
Hmm.
My way to say, uh, you know, like I worked with Chevy Chase, right? I taught Chevy Chase. I'm a jazz musician. He would hire me to come to his house, and we would um, he would play piano, and he would say, "What is this chord? What is this chord?" And he was such a gentleman. He made me sandwiches. I'd never had a sandwich with sliced hard-boiled eggs in it, and he had a parrot that he taught how to whistle like someone who doesn't know how to whistle. And it was such a charming time in my life, and Chevy Chase has done some stupid, reprehensible stuff since then, right? So then I feel like I'm not allowed to talk about this time of my life because it's going to whip up a frenzy of people who are going to have an opinion about me because they have an opinion about him. So if I have a book, right, or I tell my own anecdotes, um, it gives a little bit of space for me to say, here's a Chevy Chase Paris doesn't know how to whistle, hard boiled eggs. And then there's just like a little bit of a softening for a minute. And it doesn't mean you have to be okay with the fact that he clearly used the N word more than once or whatever. But like, if I can soften in my opinions about what I think I know about other people, it makes my life better. So I feel like, is there a way that people can see this without me having to be the messenger that gets pummeled? So,
Well, let's talk about pummeling. I mean, exactly on how that means and what we're willing to take, because there's some people who pummeling is the the objective. I mean,
yeah,
I have written a book, and I'm looking to get it banned. I'm looking because I figure that is the best way to get publicity for it is to find someone to ban the damn thing. So
amazing.
I'm looking, so that's what I'm searching for. So that's what you're talking about searching for the kinds of things that are that people will do. But the bashing, the being willing
Yeah,
to take, and to being willing to take people to say to be able to talk sanity, because that's what
yeah.
basically what we're talking about. We're talking about sanity. We're talking about this divide
Mm.
where we've all been pushed into the media has pushed us into these pockets.
Yes.
And we're saying that there's something better. I mean, Gaza, I think, is the perfect example of this. There is no way that there could ever be one side or the other that could say, all right, we're totally right in this.
Yeah.
How is it with this deeply complicated issue? And we got to work this out. And my solution is that I want 50% of the people that are in the decision making, the war decision making, and the peace decision making to be women. 50%. That is your baseline level. In Russia and Ukraine, bring me 50% women into that conversation.
Interesting.
The conversation will be different.
Yeah,
I do a thought experiment. Let's say half of the 9/11 hijackers were women. Do you think they would have come to that same conclusion about this is the best way to get our needs met?
I don't know, because I know sometimes as a woman who's been, in a men's profession, sometimes I do what the dudes do so I can.
You play a bass.
Yeah.
You play a bass. You've done this. This is, as a matter of fact, I want to show just for a second, just so people can appreciate a little bit. Your first, you said you looked at my first reasonably spontaneous conversation. I want to look at a little, take a piece out of your first musical video.
Emptiness is mine, I guess, and that's all right. That's all right. Home is so complicated. A rattle when I wanna settle down. A sleepy head filled up with sparrows all night. All right. The sweetest notes stick like a key in the throat. Can't finesse one single S, and that's all right. That's all right. It's all right.
What do you feel when you watch that again?
Well, so I'm a sideman. I get hired to work on other people's projects. But during a pandemic, I wrote this song about kind of what we're talking about gradations of like not living in the black and white, right? And so, because I thought, how am I supposed to have a good day during a pandemic in New York City when people are dying? How am I supposed to feel okay in this moment? And so I put this song together. So when I went back and listened to the video right before I sent it to you, and I was because it's not recorded very well. Like I did it at home. I played everything on it. And I watched it. I was like, oh my God, this is so good. I'm so proud of myself. I was so proud of myself. And so, and also the process of, so it's basically about, how there's this magic all around us, right? Some of those buildings in there have been there for hundreds of years. There's one building in that video. There's a photo from, the mid 1800s. The building has been there since the 1600s.
Flatiron Building?
No, the Flatiron Building is, and that's actually Delmonico's.
Delmonico's. Okay, good.
So
thank you.
There's a building in Queens. I can't remember the name of it, but it was built in the 1600s. So the idea is, can I change what I think I know about my environment? I think I know everything. And then I get to know, I was looking through all the tax records. I was looking through all these old websites for old pictures. And I was like, oh my God, I live near this property that was built in the late 1700s. Like, can I find old pictures of it? And then to see how it's changed. And then I got together with a friend during the, 2020, and we went, and it was so hard to get angles on some of the buildings. So there's some amazing photos that didn't make it. Like the Flatiron building, you can't get the same angle because there's so much more. So it would like took days and days and days. And then it's like some of the places, like, you would think objectively, oh, this looks better than it used to. This looks worse than it used to. So it's just like, and maybe it's all right that I'm not happy about something. Like, can I leave a little bit of room about the fact that I'm not okay with how this has changed? And can that be okay?
Oh,
So, yeah.
what a perfect, it's perfect for today because what I see is a lot of the anxiety that people are putting on, they're saying that it's happening outside, well, this is the reason why, is because of the polarization and because we have people on this side are doing that. That's what's going on. But what feels to me is that the delta, the change, the rate of change is accelerating in a way that has never been before. And that rate of change is what is giving everyone a great deal of anxiety. Freeform, it's just freeform anxiety. Now I'll attach to something, or
Yes.
someone, and I'll say, well, this is my problem. But
Yeah.
the real problem is this supercharged, this change that's happening.
And there's people being objectively right is a way to be safe. And we can be objectively right because we can Google something. And I guess maybe that's a major difference, right?
Yep.
So can I be safe with not knowing? And can I show other people, you don't have to know. You don't have to know. And I feel like that's something that I can do for myself and for other people. People say you're so genuine. I'm like, I'm a jackass. Like, you can be a jackass too.
Jackass.
Yeah.
I'm a genuine. Thank you. You found me.
Can I ask you one question? Because I know we're gonna have to stop in a minute. You said in your Mel Blanc interview, you asked him, looking back from 70, is there anything you would want to do? And I wondered if you had ever thought about that, because I need to know stuff like that for me.
It's something that I would want to do.
That's what you said. Is there anything you feel like you want to do now that you're X age?
Yes. Well, Kat, I'm feeling this. I'm wired an optimist, so that colors everything that I think about history. I mean, when my producer and director Renee Jaworski and I will look at some of these old tapes that I have, and I'll go, I do not remember it that way at all. I mean, actually, the history of what happened, it's on tape, so I don't have anything to say. So as I'm looking forward, I'm working under the premise and the experience that today I'm getting the opportunity to heal the past in the present. I made some serious opportunities that I walked away from in the past that I would like to walk toward in the future, to see whatever it is that is going to be happening in my life is going to be that I'm going to be more engaged, more involved, more excited than I ever have been in the past. So I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it that way. I think the past is this wonderful amalgamation of ups and downs and switchbacks and turns and fascinating in its own right. How can I apply it to today? What can I do there? And also, what resentments am I holding? That I'm still carrying, like detritus on the side of a ship that's impairing it going through. So I'm trying to smooth out, take off the mental barnacles and all. I think I appreciate your asking me that, but I'm really working toward today
Mm.
as being, okay, what are these opportunities and what is this that I can do today so that I can sit here with you, Kat, and I can sit here and experience this as the the most interesting and elegant moment that I could possibly be in.
So it's like you look at the past probably with a little bit of regret, but more with interest than
Yes, that's
regret.
what I'm working on.
Yeah.
I'm working on removing the regret and making it interest.
Yeah. And maybe just regret lives there. I think that's normal, right? But the fact that you're using that, even I think that's the name of the game, right?
Too few to mention regrets. I've had a few. You know, I think that's what it is. But I'm really working on today because I use this metaphor as it feels like it's 77 because I don't know if you've ever seen those old World War II movies where they get on Omaha Beach and you see, you know, the actual film and you see the guys walking with and the machine guns are coming and one guy to the left will fall and one guy to the right will fall. For what reason? I mean, and that's the way I feel about my life right now is that I don't know what, I mean, at 77, I don't know how I'm still alive. I feel like I'm playing with house money when I get up in the morning. So let's see what I can do. And I mean, it's more of a challenge to me today than it has ever been in my life. I've never had the kinds of opportunities and the kinds of that I've ever had in my life. It is literally, by any stretch of the imagination, the richest time I've ever had, and it is as challenging as it could be.
Wow, that is what an answer, and what a thing to hear. Because it's so easy. But I know we have to stop. But it's just so easy for people, I feel like, to get, I read somewhere that asking why me more with interest than self-pity can really reframe the day. So I sort of hear some, and sometimes there's going to be self-pity, like maybe that's all right, you know, but that's what I hear you doing.
God, yes. I have been in the last couple of days, or the last 3 or 4 days. I spent time in the night on my pity pot. I was just sitting there, just going, "Oh my God, what am I?" You know. And so, fortunately, we worked through that, and to where I can be back and be, you know, having this wonderful mixed bag of times. I have a request from you, and I have no regrets about putting you on the spot about this. I'd love to do this again.
Yeah.
I want to know, as you are going along in your story, as you were going on and you're developing these wonderful stories, that I get a chance to be with you as an author and to say, tell me about these. Tell me about this experience of talking with the people that you're doing, because there's an historic imperative that I feel that is going on in your life right now, as you are going into this, as you are digging into this. And it's my experience as an elder human to you, is that the universe is user friendly and it will respond to my internal feelings and emotions, and it only has one answer to every question. Yes.
Wow.
Oh, life is so hard and I'm having such a difficult time. Yes.
Yeah.
My
Yes.
best times are ahead. I'm ready for this. I'm going to work through my problem. Yes.
Yeah.
People are on my side, and the people that I need to meet, like Cat Popper, are going to come into my life at the perfect time. Yes. That's the place I want to do. So I would love to continue this conversation, and I feel that there are other subjects within our lives and our place that we continue to talk.
I would love to. I really love your work, and that's my maybe it's all right. Yes. The day that I've had, I've been completely insane. And I just kept saying yes. And I was like, don't pick up that phone call. And I picked it up and I was like, damn it. You know, okay, I did, like, okay, not taking myself so seriously. So thank you for your lead, for asking me, and just for, you're just really good at what you do, and it's been inspiring to me.
Thank you so much. All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you again on another episode of Reasonably Spontaneous Conversation. This is Cat Popper, and I'm Dennis Tardan, and we'll see you all next time.